Well, Dinah, thank you so much for taking the time to connect with us today. It's great to be with you.
Thank you so much, David. I'm so excited to be here.
Talk to me about
Mhm.
your story of awakening to spirituality and personal development. How did this all unfold in your life?
Oh, yeah. So the awakening came, I guess, it's always kind of been there, but we tend to lose track of, those signs. But then it really hits you at a certain point. And my point started, I guess I was, working corporate, having a lot of fun, but it's super stressful. And it started to manifest in ways of just like pain, right? So it was back pain, upper back pain, shoulder pain, sleepless nights. I felt like I just couldn't get everything done. And so I was just outputting so much. I was just living in a very masculine productivity. And yeah, so I was developing some lower back pain, and a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you should go to an acupuncturist." And I had heard, about acupuncture before. And so I was like, oh, I'll try it because nothing else is really working. And I wanted to do this before I like really delved into like maybe having to see a doctor. So I went to the acupuncturist and literally like my, it was the first session and the pain subsided like
Wow.
instantly. So that night I went dancing and I was so happy. Um, and then, of course, I would just like keep going because I knew it was working for me. And and that was just kind of the beginning. He taught me, my acupuncturist taught me about meditation and how to deal with the stress at work. And during calls, I would just like consciously breathe. And it really got me to a place where I could feel a little bit more in control of, that stress and being more proactive instead of reactive because I was living in a lot of reactivity. And then, once you start meditating, everything else starts to fall into place. And I like to work with energy. And truly, that's what happened. Once you start opening up to that energy, everything starts to align and things start to really come your way that help you. And I think like that's where it all started. The big magnification, I would say, happened though when I had kids. So they're a huge test of all of the things that are traumas in your life, lots of patience, again, that word of patience, dealing with stress. And something I like to do instead of work-life balance, I like to call it work-life harmony. Because it's not just balancing one or the other, it's the integration, right, of work and life. And so that's where it all just kind of started.
Yeah, so big shift though from corporate to now Reiki
Yeah.
master, energetic lifestyle coach. Like that's a big shift. Help me understand how it began to kind of unfold for you, where you're going, okay, I want to actually invest my life, my time, my effort to this. How did that shift take place?
Yeah, so the shift happened. So corporate America was really good to me. I was like working there for over a decade and learned a lot. But again, it's fast paced. There is a lot of pressures. And so I guess like really what happened is I got sick. I ended up in the hospital. And you probably have heard of burnout. It's the slow burn. And I just avoided it for the longest time. And I think actually what happened was I was running away from it. So the first time I ended up in the emergency room, the doctors and the nurses were like, everything is fine with you, but you got to manage your stress. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to the acupuncturist. I'm doing my meditations. I'm going to the gym. Like I felt like I was managing my stress, but my body was telling me otherwise. And my mind was also always thinking about just, work, managing deadlines, and, soon comes family. So having children and things like that. Um, so I thought I had it under control. And then I ended up in the hospital two times again, right? And so I just started to take a look at like what is going on. and I started to get more serious
Mm.
because, when you have kids and you're in the emergency room, your life just kind of starts to really become very the priority. Like, what is the priority? So I actually ended up like leaving my job and then finding another corporate job, thinking that this would, be better. Like the person that I was hired, my hiring crew, they were really wonderful about work-life balance. There's that. And I thought that this was going to be it. Um, but it was just, dealing with the same kind of thing,
Mm.
just a different, you
Different
know,
place.
different place,
Yeah.
different job title. But I was pretty much doing the same thing and living out my life in the same way. So I shifted the job, but I never shifted what was going on with me.
Mm.
I upped yoga practice, right? Like that always feels good. And it's kind of like all of the things that you check off on your list. And then I started to have to go to the doctor because my blood pressure was increasing. So, it's just a lot of, when you deal with health, and again, it's the prioritizing. Um, I did that though for a couple of years. And then it was the third call back to the emergency room where I drove myself and I started thinking on that drive, like this, something really needs to change.
Right.
And so that's when, I decided that corporate America has been really great to me. I've given it my all, but now I need to take care of myself. And so I did this deep dive into meditation, and I had heard about Reiki before.
Mhm.
And again, once you open up to that spiritual space, things start to come to you. And so I just decided, I had a book actually on my bookcase, and I opened it up and I just started reading about it. And I don't know, the words or just like leafing through like the pages, I realized like, wow, this is just like really calming. I wonder if this will work for me. And I've always been very much like love the idea of holistic health. And so I was kind of, buying time, right? Trying to figure out like, do I need to be on these medications? Like I have them filled. How long do I need to be on these medications? So I think that I just decided that when I'm with my kids, I wanted to be more present. And I was constantly thinking of work, and I would have short temper, often like snapping at them because I was not really present. And it was almost like spirit came and like grabbed me and said, look, you've got these kids. They want your attention. Who are you going to be? Right. And so that was kind of the mix, the cocktail, I guess, that really just it was just that book. And I booked a session with a Reiki healer, and I cried for most of my session. And so that softening and that vulnerability really started to wake me up. And those are the little things that you start to notice. And that in itself kind of took me into the spiritual space of, oh, I want to take a class. I can do self Reiki. I can do Reiki for my kids. The meditation practice is so wonderful. Like it really gives me a sense of calm and peace. And the factor of not having my job, I spent the next 5 years really focusing on my kids and the quality of life that I wanted for myself. And I just started to become a seeker of this space.
Mhm. Beautiful, beautiful. And so now,
Mhm.
Reiki master, energetic lifestyle coach, for
Mhm.
somebody who's kind of just getting into the space, what is that? What does that mean? What do you do for people?
Yeah. So similar, we go through our own healing. And then once we've healed ourselves, we really want to share everything with others. And so my hope is that I help nurture people who are dealing with a very stressful lifestyle. And I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and there's a lot of stress here.
Yeah.
In any city center, and matter of fact, anywhere in the world, right? Like stress hits us in different ways. So that's kind of my mission is to really be a beacon of light for people where they can come to me and I nourish them through the power of Reiki, through the stillness of meditation, and also just raising your frequency when it comes to sound. So I also dabble in some sound bowl as well, but really curating a toolkit so that when one does have, um, like that, the palpitations in the heart and in the body, it's telling you something you just don't feel right.
Mhm.
Take that pause to fully breathe and be present. And usually in a present moment, everything is okay.
You've named your business High Key Living. What does that
Mhm.
mean to you? How does that express kind of your brand and your way of approaching helping people?
Yeah, so just borrowing from Reiki, it is a Japanese term. So ki is energy. So it's a high energy lifestyle.
Mhm.
And to me, the energy really is like raising your vibration and living at your fullest. So it's eating really well, it's taking care of your body, it's creating boundaries for yourself so that you're nourishing yourself and you're taking those pauses so that nobody is going to take care of you the way you can take care of yourself. And I know that, like, as being a parent, or even like having parents, we have to take care of ourselves.
Mhm.
And like I lived very much in that moment of just distress. I wasn't taking care of myself. Nobody's going to tell me slow down, right? It's got
Well,
to
they're going
come
to tell
from
you
me.
speed up in
They're going
corporate,
to
right?
keep
How much,
going, keep
how
going.
much more can we take
Yes.
out of you in order to increase the bottom line? You talked about living there in the DC area and the bigger stresses. The people that you work with and just friends, your own life, what are the
Yeah.
biggest stresses? Because people go, "Oh, I'm so stressed out. I got so much going on." What are the actual biggest stresses that people are facing these days? And how does that then negatively impact their life?
Yeah. So I would say it's not so much the work that we do. I think it's the distractions of life.
Mm,
We are so distracted. We are pulled away constantly. And, I see it in my kids a lot of just like being on their phone, social media. We've moved so far away, and all of the technology is fantastic, but we have to kind of harness them and learn how to use these distractions in ways that we can be productive, but then create more time in between. So, like, I like to work with time blocking a lot. So, I don't know if you've heard of this, but these are management tools where you can say that, oh, I have, let's see, an hour to just like work. And you set your timer and you just work. You answer your calls, you do emails, and then you can schedule 15 minutes to, check your phone, go onto YouTube if you want to learn something. Um, so I would say that we're always like, we have so much to do. I have, there's not enough time. And truly, there is, everybody has the same amount of time, but I think it's just learning how to manage that time and also prioritizing it. So, I think that when it comes to the practice of meditation, there is a little bit of a discipline there that, we show up for, like, if we're going to the gym, we dedicate that, hour at the gym. But I think, like, when it comes to, we just overbook ourselves.
mhm.
There's always something to do. And I think that's where, the stressors come from.
Mhm. For
Yes.
me, I find that a lot of stress in my life is that I'm thinking about all the things that I have to do
Yes.
while I'm doing the thing that I have to do, right? So it's worrying about what's coming up so much that then, like you said, whenever you're in, like, let's say the gym or whatever, you're in that present moment. Like, okay, I'm here in this present moment. But it's when my mind is thinking about all the things that I have to do.
Right.
So for me, so much of it is actually scheduling not just appointments, but the things that I need to do. Like I'll help clients go, all right, so you need to do your taxes. You're worried about doing them, but if you schedule a time and put it on the calendar, then you don't have to worry about it till that moment on the calendar. It's kind of
Exactly.
like if everything is written down, and I could tend to be that kind of write things down kind of person, but if I write it down, put a time on it, okay, I don't have to think about it until that time.
Exactly. Right. And a lot of the times we procrastinate. We don't want to do the thing that's hard. It's not fun. But when we manage our time in that way, then, like you're saying, when we're doing something, we're often thinking about the future or the past, right? And so Einstein always talks about energy, right? So it's kind of like when we put our energy into something, energy goes where energy flows where energy goes. And so if we're here thinking about something else, then we're not really working on the task at hand. And we may not even finish it because we're so distracted, right, about what we're supposed to be doing or what we did. So I'll always say, the practice of meditation is really going to help us to be more present and find that flow. And sure enough, like to do your taxes, or I often work with clients too, where they're saying, "Oh, there's so much to do," and I kid you not, like if you honestly put in half an hour on something, you will get so much done
Right.
and just focus on that one thing. And focus is a difficult is difficult these days,
Mhm.
because our phone pings, our alarms go off. And I think that, again, it just comes back to being present and utilizing tools that are really going to help support us.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to me about Reiki for a moment.
Mhm.
What are some of the misconceptions around Reiki? I know people like that are into spirituality and energy. Reiki's kind of like, okay, yeah, I get that. But there are so many people in our culture that Reiki is new for them, you know? And
Yeah.
so, um, what are some misconceptions around Reiki and energy healing, and how do you help clients understand it more and make it more accessible for them?
Yeah, sure. So you're right. It's kind of hard to conceptualize Reiki because it's the unseen, right? So I get questions too, like, is it religious, right? And no, it's mostly we'll just work with energy again. It's an energetic experience, and so I will compare it to acupuncture a lot because it's a similar feeling. However, there is a tangible. You have the needle and it goes into the body. This, you don't see it. It's all just energetics that is filled into the body. You definitely feel it. So it works similarly where we have energy centers, so the chakras within the body, and helps align the body so that the body moves from stress, right? It moves from the fight or flight into rest and digest. And it reminds the body that it has the capacity to heal. And so that's just the wonderful thing. It is a holistic modality that is it's amazing. It can help with inflammation. It boosts the immune system. It helps us sleep better. Um, I would just say that if you're skeptical about it, um, allow yourself to try because there's so many benefits.
Yeah. So, one of the ways that people connect with you beyond your website
Mhm.
is heal.me. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and we'll put links to all of your websites and everything in the show notes. But
Thank
it's heal.me/ Dinah Simpson.
you. Mhm.
And you have different ways that people can connect with you. Of course, a free expansion call, kind of like a
Yes,
get to know you. But there's something called, I actually kind of want to walk through some of these things that you offer because
sure.
part of what we're trying to do here with Awaken Magazine is not just introduce people to you, but also educate people about some of these different modalities that perhaps they haven't tried yet. So
Yeah.
there's something that was even new for me here, what is called
Mhm.
access bars consciousness.
Yes, yes.
What is this and how is this helpful for someone?
Access bar consciousness is pretty crazy. It deals with energy as well. However, we work with energy points within the body. So, like meridians, if you've heard of meridians. So, access points, we have 32 of them on our head. And so, when there is a step, there are 32 points that I go through. And when you apply some pressure, so it's a little bit like reflexology or acupressure, where you apply some pressure in these sequences, it helps alleviate trauma, it helps alleviate pain. There are subconscious patterns that the mind holds on to. And so if you kind of like think of it as pressure points. Sometimes when you have a headache and you press here or you press in between the eyes, it relieves that pain a little bit. So that sequence on the body and the full body as well really does help with stored trauma within the body. So once you start to understand there's a book called The Body Keeps Score. Have you heard of it? Have you read?
Of course,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book, but it's very much that energy. We go through our life with a lot of like processing of emotions, things that happen to us, situations, conversations, and it just kind of is stored within the body. And so I like to look at it as all of the energy modalities, all of the energy work that I do is like we're clearing out to the trash in our computer system, right? So I like to use that as an example. When our computer starts to slow down, it's because it's the storage, right? The storage space, it's full. And so we go in through the trash and we get rid of that. We go through things and we start to clear out, or we put in the software antivirus and it clears things. And so energy healing is the same thing. We just have there are different modalities that can address certain things. And so we just use the energy to really help clear, and we don't need to know what it is sometimes. And I think that's just a wonderful thing because it could be that we have a sense of fear of something that happened to us when we're like 8 years old, right? It's just a reaction that we might have had to it. And then the mind forgets about it, right? And it is stored in our subconscious. And
Mhm.
so, but then we repeat the pattern of fear.
Mhm.
And it kind of paralyzes sometimes. It will be paralyzing to us where we don't take the risk. We don't, do something that will allow for us to grow.
Mhm.
And I've seen it so many times with some clients where all of a sudden, I'll do access bars or we'll do Reiki. And then all of a sudden, um, a memory comes up and then they're like, oh, I haven't thought of that in years. This happened when I was a child. And then the fear goes away, you
Wow.
know, and it's really fantastic. Our bodies are amazing and really does. Things are held within our bodies. And so it's just a good practice to continuously, clear, clear our system, reboot it so that
Mm.
we're
Yeah.
optimizing our productivity and living our life fully.
Mhm. Now, in this case, with access bars, somebody's
Mhm.
laying on a table
Yes.
in your presence. But then a lot of these other modalities you're able to do via Zoom, I presume.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so talk me through if somebody is looking to they're stressed out because this is really one of the things that you really help people with. They're
Mhm.
stressed, they're overwhelmed, they're on the verge of burnout or they're burning
Yeah.
out. How do you utilize a combination of breath work, meditation, Reiki, sound? How do you
Right.
either utilize those separately or together in and maybe how describe how that's different in person versus via Zoom? How do you help people with those different modalities?
Sure, sure. So, we're talking about energy again, and energy holds a frequency. And so in Reiki, there is distance Reiki, and really it is just the intention. And that intention can channel out into the cosmos, and you just receive it. And so when I'm working with somebody, I often like, again, going back to technology, it's like the cloud. So I send up the frequency, and on the receiving side, they just download that frequency. And also, when we work with meditation, for example, it's just like this. We're on Zoom,
Right.
and I go through some breath work that we'll do together. And then we both like close our eyes and I'll guide my clients through a meditation practice. And it really is just teaching them this is a tool that they can use at any time. A lot of time with breath work, it just is a 30-second breathe in, a hold, and an exhale. And we can do that as a pattern of 5. And you can do it on the metro, you can do it on the car in the car, and it really shifts your energy. So as long as we have the ability to talk to each other, see each other is great, or to meet in person, there is an opportunity to shift.
Mhm. I know we didn't necessarily even plan on this,
Yeah.
Would you mind just leading us through a few minutes of like centering and helping if we're, stressed out in this moment, whatever you want to do, just ground
Yeah.
or a little meditation, or would you mind taking us through a little something?
Of course, I would love to. I would love to. So, normally what I'll do is, want to make sure that you're seated,
I
if
am.
you're at home, yeah, if you're at home, sitting, at your chair with both legs uncrossed, both feet, or legs uncrossed, both feet are grounded onto the floor. And you want to just to start to connect to the breath, right? We're always talking about here that breath brings us to the present moment, and that's where we want to be. So start to just notice the sensation of breath coming in through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. Another breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And then we'll do that one more time. Breathing in and exhaling. And if you'd like, you can start to just close your eyes. And we'll work with the triangle breath. You've probably heard this before. And triangle breath is a really wonderful tool to shift your energy, finding peace and calm. And so the breath is a count of 4 through the nose, and then we hold the breath, and then there's an exhale through the mouth. So we'll breathe in through the nose, suspend the breath, and then exhale through the mouth. Another breath in through the nose. Hold the breath here, and then exhale through the mouth. Then breathing in again, slowly through the nose. Suspend the breath, and exhale through the mouth. And then one last time, breathing in slowly through the nose. Hold the breath here, and then exhale through the mouth. And then just sealing the lips, coming back to normal breath in and out of the nose. And just start to notice the sensation of the air as it enters the nostrils. You'll feel the coolness of the air. And then on the exhale, just notice the warmth of the air as it exits the nostrils. And using this breath, just connecting to the body. And as we talked about, a lot of the times we're external in the doing. And so in this moment, I'm just trying to practice reminding the body what it's like to be present. And so just bring awareness to the top of the head, noticing any sensations here. And then feeling between the brows. Sometimes we hold tension, we furrow here. So just allow the skin to be smooth across the forehead. Noticing the eyes resting in the eye sockets, and just allowing the muscles to soften, releasing any tension. And with eyes closed here, just noticing the stillness and the landscape within. Noticing between the temples, allowing the nerves to rest. Noticing the muscles around the cheeks and just softening here. In another area where we hold tension in the jaw. So maybe if you'd like, you can open the jaw wide, moving the jaw from left to right, right to left. And then as you close the mouth, just gently allow the jaw to unhinge, separating the back teeth. And then releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Taking a breath in here and gently exhaling through the nose. And then bringing the chin down to the chest and releasing the back of the neck. And just hang here for a few breaths. And then on the inhale, bringing the head back up to neutral. And then just noticing the shoulders. Another area where we hold tension. Often we're at the computer. So maybe you can bring those shoulders up to the ears and then roll them back. Do that a few more times. Shoulders up to the ears, allow them to roll back. And one more time. Shoulders to ears and roll back. And just noticing the posture, spine nice and long. And then back to those shoulders. Just allow the shoulders to really drop and melt away from the ears. And feeling the upper back and just noticing the shoulder blades and how they spread across the width of the back. And as you take this next breath in, noticing the heart space. So as you breathe, notice how the heart opens, the lungs expand, rib cage opens. The body naturally receives this breath. And so consciously, as we breathe in, just imagine the heart space opening and shining. And then exhale. The body releases, the body contracts, and we surrender to this moment. And then coming back into that essence of the heart, as you take this next breath in, allow yourself to receive this loving kindness from yourself, breathing in compassion. Another breath in, receiving that love and kindness for yourself. And then maybe scanning the body and sending this love and this compassion to all of the areas in the body that might need your care today. Another breath in through the nose, holding this compassion, this kindness for yourself, and allow that essence to reach the mind. Sending yourself love. I am love. I am light. I am peace. I am kind. I am strength. I am. And then on this next exhale, just releasing all of the thoughts that no longer serve this mind, surrendering them, allowing the mind to unburden so that all is here is this essence of truth, of love, and compassion. And take another big breath in through the nose and exhale, release through the mouth. My prayer for you, David, may you be well. Everyone listening, may you be well. May you be at peace. May you live your life with ease. And may you know you are always loved. And when you're ready, you can start to open the eyes and move the body, stretching out if it feels good. Thank you so much for sharing that energy with me.
Yeah, I think that I just asked that. That was just, for me. That was just for me. Well, everybody else can participate as well. So thank you so much. Wonderful, Dinah. You're so good.
Thank
Your
you.
voice sounds so soothing. I get words for people oftentimes, that just flash for me. Oftentimes, when my eyes are open, I'll see them on top of people. But the word that came to me for you through that process was just support. Like I just felt like, oh my gosh, Dinah is providing just support for all of us in this moment. But that is um, seems to be as we're just getting to know each other, that is one of your superpowers is like supporting people, like holding that part of them that perhaps needs to be held and teaching them how to hold it for themselves,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I think
Mhm.
about for whatever reason, you watch these crazy shows and
Yeah.
somebody gets shot, right? And like they put this big t-shirt on them or something and go, okay, hold this spot,
Right.
bleed out. And
Hmm.
it's like I see you providing compression in that spot on someone's body or soul that needs support in the moment, but then saying, okay, now you take your hand and you hold it there because they then are learning how to support themselves
Yes.
through all these
Yes.
modalities. That's what I see in you. Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's my big hope and my mission is to really provide that support, this container, this space, to be heard. Um, you know, I feel like, again, we have so many distractions, and a lot of the things that we move through in life, that's what we do. We just move through them. But sometimes we just need to feel, right? And so my time with my clients is that opportunity to express, to feel, to release, um, and then to learn how to build energy. I really believe strongly that we can build that energy within ourselves,
Mhm.
and it really is empowering. And having that toolbox is just it's a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah. So if somebody begins to work with you, I know you have
Mhm.
these different ways of working with you.
Yeah.
What would they expect? Like they have a discovery call, then it's like, okay, yeah, I'm stressed out. I don't know how to handle this. Like, are those each of those sessions custom tailored based on their needs, or how do
Yeah.
you approach them?
Yes. So that's the importance of the discovery call, because I want to hear, I want to listen, I want to know what you're going through. And based from that, I have so many, modalities to choose from. And maybe it is Reiki, right? Maybe it's that one session for Reiki so that the body can just fully relax. Or maybe it is a going into meditation. Or meditation may not work for somebody because it's hard to be still. I know it is. So we'll do some Kundalini yoga to move the body. I think that there is a modality that's going to fit your need. But because I've been studying this for so long, I've also, needed so many different things to support me as I was moving through, being in corporate America, being a mom and then an entrepreneur. And, I've been able to do all of this work. And now it just kind of comes natural. It's like, oh, okay, let's take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and package it together and make sure that you have a customized program that's going to extend and really bring you through everything that you need to go through to, for one, like become conscious of what you're experiencing. Two is like moving through it, feeling everything and healing through that. And then we move forward with all of the action so that we can become that better version of yourself and really feel good, build that energy. Yeah.
Obviously, each person is different, but I'm assuming working with
Uh-huh.
somebody 60, 90, 120 days, 6 months,
Yeah.
ultimately they're going to see the most transformation if they're working with you over a protracted period of time.
Yes, yes. I do like to have at least, a program that we can work through, especially if you're going through something that, like a big shift. I've had clients where they're working in a high, I wouldn't say, like, I have a client who is a partner in a law firm, and he was getting ready to retire, and he really wanted to approach it mindfully because he had been, in this position for over 30 some years. And how is that going to impact you, right? And so we started to work together a year before the retirement in meditation so that he really could be present and really start to move through, like, the feelings of, this is something I've done all of my life, and now I'm shifting. And it's really tied to our identity, right? And so, like, reprogramming the mind and knowing that the unknown parts of it, it's okay, right? And so it could also just be a drop-in session too, right? Where it's like, oh, I have some shoulder pain. Okay, let's do a little bit of Reiki, and you'll feel better the next day. So there
Ultimately,
really is, yeah,
they're going to get the most out of experience with you over a period of
period of
time.
time. Yeah,
Together. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. Because it is energy, and energy sometimes, we have certain blockages within the body, and it might take a little bit longer for those blockages to open up. And just like sometimes when we have medicines, right, we say that it'll take 2 to 3, 4 days before you feel the effect. So the same thing with the energy healing as well.
Mhm. All right. So if somebody wants to reach out to you,
Mhm.
what's the best way to get a hold of you to set up that expansion or discovery call?
Yeah, definitely. So you can go to heal.me/Dinah Simpson, and it'll just prompt you. You can book a discovery call with me, and that's about a 15 to 20-minute call where we can chat about what it is you need. You can also go onto that same website to take a look at my services. You can also find me on my website, which is dinahsimpson.com. I'm also on Instagram at High Key Living. So you can see what I'm doing over there. I try to make it fun. And if you're local, I also do a few events throughout the year. So really trying to create community as well, because I really feel as though that is a huge thing to do on your own. Like, this work is hard to do on your own. So thank you, David, for creating this platform so that all of us can, read about or listen to each other's stories and know that we're not alone. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I would definitely encourage you guys to follow Dinah
Oh,
on Instagram because she has some really beautiful videos and
thanks.
demonstrating her doing sound healing as well as working with clients. It's some really beautiful images and videos. And as she
Yeah.
mentioned, if you're in the Washington, D.C. area, she has some local events coming up throughout the year. So be sure to check that out. So, and of course, all of these links will be in your show notes, so you can swipe up on your phone, or if you're listening on our website, all of those links are there in the article. Dinah, if somebody is just getting started on this road of spirituality, holistic healing, personal development, and they're going, oh man, I have been living one way. I'm trying to make some shifts in my life. It feels overwhelming. What advice would you share with them as they're getting started on this journey?
Yeah, sure. I've been there. I understand it is very overwhelming. There's so much information, but I think it's just that conscious shift and the commitment that you make for yourself that you want to feel better and come back to the breath. The breath is your life energy, and all you need to do is breathe, right? And we're alive. Like, it's a huge, that's magic. And also, when you breathe, we start again with each breath. So I would say to be patient with yourself, and contact me if you'd like, or take a look at the magazine, right? There's so many resources there. But it's your commitment to yourself, and you're the best investment. So have patience, and yeah, just really strive for that peace.
Beautiful. Dinah, thank you so much for sharing your story, your
Thank
wisdom,
you.
how you work with people, and an amazing meditation that people can really enjoy. So it's great to be
Thanks.
with you. And
You as well.
excited to continue to connect.
Yeah, me too. Have a great day. Thank you so much.